Dignity, my friend, the quiet weapon that cuts deeper than any scream or shattered plate. You chose dignity over their drama, and that wasn't part of their script. They set the stage for chaos, built the walls of manipulation and deceit, expecting you to crumble, expecting you to lose yourself in the noise, expecting you to play your part in their destructive little game. They wanted you to lose your sense of self in their tornado of instability, to drown in their theatrics, to beg for validation from their hollow, self-centered performances. But you didn't. You picked dignity. You walked away. And that was the moment they realized they were not the ones holding the power anymore. You were. In a world obsessed with instant gratification and validation, your decision to choose dignity over the loud and oppressive noise of their drama was an act of defiance. It wasn't just a choice, it was a declaration. You decided that the price of peace was worth more than their toxic theatrics. They thought they could keep you entranced, hooked, ready to play the victim, ready to give in to their constant drama. But you didn't bite. You didn't fall for their illusions. You broke free. And that, my friend, is where the real strength lies. When they tried to draw you in, to drown you in their chaos, they were counting on your need for recognition, your thirst for approval, your hunger for connection. They wanted you to crave the attention that would validate their existence. They wanted you to chase them through the labyrinth of their emotional manipulation, to believe that their drama was the only way to feel alive. But you saw through it. You recognized that their drama wasn't your reality. It was a reflection of their unresolved issues, their insecurities, their inability to cope with their own pain. And you refused to take it on as your own. You didn't just leave their drama behind. You left it in the dust as a reminder of what happens when you allow others to dictate your worth, when you let people play puppet master with your emotions. You realized that your dignity was not for sale, not even for their twisted version of love or friendship. You understood that walking away didn't make you weak, it made you strong. It took more courage to hold your ground and preserve your sense of self than it ever would to stay in the midst of their chaos. The drama they thrived on couldn't touch you because you were already above it. You were above the petty games they played, the guilt trips they tried to lay on you, the manipulative tactics they used to keep you engaged. Choosing dignity was not an easy path. It meant seeing them for what they were, a toxic force that thrived on creating chaos, drama, and distraction. It meant recognizing that your value was not determined by their approval, that you didn't need to stay and prove yourself worthy in their eyes. It meant understanding that your peace of mind, your inner tranquility, your self-respect were non-negotiable. And in a world that constantly tries to force you to compromise these things, to sacrifice your well-being for the sake of others, that's a rare and precious choice. They thought they had control. They thought you would beg, cry, and chase after them. They expected you to play the victim, to fall into the same toxic patterns that kept you bound to them. They didn't see your strength. They didn't understand that you were a force of nature, not a pawn in their game. They couldn't comprehend that you had the power to choose yourself. They underestimated your ability to walk away without regret, to take your dignity and your peace of mind with you and leave their circus behind. Your decision to choose dignity was more than just an act of self-preservation. It was a statement to the world that you would no longer tolerate being part of anyone's emotional wasteland. You would no longer allow yourself to be the scapegoat for their insecurities, the punching bag for their unresolved issues. You weren't going to be their emotional roller coaster anymore. You weren't going to feed their fire, no matter how much they tried to bait you. They wanted you to stay, to fight, to get lost in their labyrinth of confusion and chaos. But you saw through it. You knew the only way to win was to walk away. They thought you were weak, didn't they? They thought you were too emotionally invested to leave. They thought they could trap you in their cycle, using their drama as a way to keep you dependent on their validation. But you proved them wrong. You showed them that your strength didn't lie in staying. It lied in leaving. It lied in walking away when it would have been easier to stay and get caught in their web. It lied in knowing that you were worth more than the chaos they tried to drag you into. It takes a special kind of person to recognize that their worth is not tied to others' drama, that their peace is more valuable than the temporary highs of validation. When you decided to choose dignity, you were saying that you wouldn't let anyone define you anymore. You wouldn't let anyone drag you down to their level of petty games and manipulation. You wouldn't let their storms dictate the weather of your life. You chose to rise above. You chose to protect your energy. You chose to protect your heart from being shattered by their insecurities. You chose to walk away, not because you were giving up, but because you were choosing yourself. You chose to preserve your dignity, and in doing so, you created space for something better, something more aligned with who you are. There is power in that decision. There is a silent strength that comes with standing firm in your truth and refusing to play along with a script that was never meant for you. They didn't expect you to walk away. They thought you were trapped, but you weren't. You broke free, and in doing so, you became a force of nature, unyielding and untouchable. You see, dignity is not something that can be taken from you. It is something you choose, something you maintain, regardless of the circumstances. The world will try to strip you of it. The toxic people in your life will try to convince you that you don't deserve it, but they are wrong. You are the only one who gets to decide if your dignity will remain intact. And when you choose to protect it, you are choosing to live on your own terms, free from the chains of their drama. It's not easy, and it's not always glamorous. Choosing dignity means enduring the stares, the whispers, the judgments, and the criticisms of those who never understood why you left. It means facing the loneliness that comes with standing alone, the silence that replaces the noise you once knew. But in that silence, in that space you've created for yourself, there is peace. There is clarity. There is freedom. And there's no price that can match it. They didn't expect you to pick your dignity over their drama. They thought they could break you, manipulate you, drag you into their pit of insecurity and doubt. But you didn't fall for it. You walked away. And that was the most powerful thing you could have done. You stood up for yourself in a way they never imagined. You took control of your life and reclaimed your peace. And as you stand here, stronger and more self-aware, you realize that you've won in a way they could never understand. You didn't need to fight back with anger or bitterness. You didn't need to destroy what was left of the connection. You simply left, and that alone was a victory. Because sometimes the most powerful act of defiance is to walk away, to choose yourself, to walk away from the drama and into the peace that you deserve. In the end, you'll be the one standing tall, your dignity intact, while they'll be left scrambling, trying to figure out how they lost their grip on you. And the beauty is that you don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to justify your decision. They'll see it for what it is, even if they don't fully understand it. Your dignity will speak louder than any words ever could. So take this moment, my friend, to celebrate that choice. The choice to stand up for yourself. The choice to preserve your dignity. The choice to walk away from the chaos and into the calm that you've earned. You are stronger than they ever thought possible. And now you know, you don't need their drama to validate your worth. You've always been worthy. And now, you finally see it too. The truth that they tried so hard to hide from you, the truth that was buried beneath all the noise, beneath their lies, beneath their drama. They thought you wouldn't notice it. They thought you wouldn't realize that you were the one holding all the power in the situation. They thought they could manipulate you, twist your emotions, make you believe that you were small, that you were less than, that you needed their approval to be whole. But now, you see it for what it is. You see it all clearly, don't you? The truth is, they never had power over you in the first place. Not truly. The only power they had was the one you allowed them to have. The only control they had was the control you gave them when you kept returning, when you kept giving in to their chaos, when you kept believing their empty promises and feeding into their destructive cycles. You let them define your worth. You let them dictate your emotions, but no more. You see now that your worth was never tied to their drama. Your dignity was never meant to be bargained with. It was always yours to keep. And now, you understand that better than anyone else could. They set their traps, didn't they? They baited you with their manipulation, with their twisted affection, with their false promises of better days to come. They convinced you that you were weak without them, that you couldn't survive on your own, that the world would fall apart without their presence in your life. They thought they could build a prison around you with their lies, trapping you in a cycle of guilt, fear, and dependency. They thought that no matter how many times they tore you down, you would always come back, always beg for more of their toxic love, always crave the crumbs they were willing to throw your way. They were wrong. What they didn't understand, what they could never understand, is that you were never broken. You were never as lost as they wanted you to believe. You were never as dependent on them as they tried to make you feel. The truth is, you were always whole. You were always enough. They never had the ability to take that from you, no matter how hard they tried. You just had to remember it. You just had to wake up from the fog they created, from the illusion they built to keep you in their grasp. The moment you chose your dignity, everything shifted. You took back your power. You reclaimed your sense of self. You looked at their chaos and their drama, and for the first time, you saw it for what it was. A desperate attempt to keep you weak, to keep you uncertain, to keep you dependent on them. But you no longer needed to rely on their false sense of security, their manufactured drama. You saw it for the illusion it was, and in doing so, you broke free. What they never expected was that your power was not in the drama they created, but in your ability to walk away from it. You didn't need their validation. You didn't need their approval. You didn't need their constant drama to feel alive. In fact, you were suffocating under the weight of it all. The guilt, the confusion, the fear, the manipulation. It all took a toll on you, didn't it? But the moment you chose dignity, the moment you took your life back into your own hands, you began to breathe again. You began to feel the weight of their influence lift from your shoulders. And in that moment, you found freedom. True freedom. You might have felt like you were losing something when you walked away. It's natural to feel that way when you leave behind something that once felt like it defined you. You might have thought that by choosing your dignity, you were walking away from relationships, from love, from connection. But that was never the case. No, what you were walking away from was the illusion that you needed anyone else to feel complete. You were walking away from the idea that your value was ever dependent on someone else's perception of you. You were walking away from the belief that you had to endure their chaos to feel worthy. And that's when you realized the truth. You are enough just as you are. You were always enough. You just needed to believe it. There's something deeply powerful about choosing yourself. It's a quiet strength, one that doesn't scream for attention or demand recognition. It's a power that doesn't need to be acknowledged by anyone else because it comes from within. When you choose dignity, You are choosing peace over turmoil, clarity over confusion, love over manipulation. You are saying that you will no longer allow anyone to take up space in your heart and mind without respect for who you are. You are saying that your dignity is non-negotiable, and you will not compromise it for anyone's drama, no matter how loud they scream, no matter how hard they try to pull you back into their storm. The drama they created around you was never real. It was just noise, distractions meant to keep you from seeing the truth. They wanted to keep you distracted with their emotional outbursts, their false accusations, their manipulations and games, so you would never fully wake up to the reality that you were stronger than they ever let you believe. They wanted to keep you in the shadows of their chaos, convinced that you couldn't stand on your own, convinced that you needed them to survive. But you didn't need them. You never did. And now, you see that clearly. It's a painful realization, isn't it? To recognize that the people you trusted, the people you loved, were never truly there for you. To see that they only loved you as long as it benefited them. To see that their affection was conditional, their loyalty fleeting, their care hollow. It hurts to realize that you were just a pawn in their game, someone they manipulated for their own gain, someone they used to fill the void of their own insecurities. But the beauty of that realization is that it frees you. It frees you from the need for their approval. It frees you from the shackles of their manipulations. It frees you to finally see your worth and live your life on your own terms. And once you've made that choice, once you've chosen dignity, there's no turning back. There's no going back to the person you were before. There's no going back to the emotional roller coaster they had you riding, the ups and downs, the chaos, the confusion. Once you've experienced the peace of standing in your own truth, the peace of walking away from the drama, there's no way you can ever go back to living in the shadows of someone else's manipulation. It's a powerful thing, my friend, to stand tall in your own dignity, to know your worth without needing anyone else to confirm it, to live your life without apologizing for your needs, your boundaries, your desires, to stand in your own light and refuse to let anyone dim it. And once you've experienced that power, you'll never want to go back to the darkness. But the truth is, they won't understand. They won't see it. They'll try to make you feel guilty for walking away. They'll try to twist the narrative, make it seem like you were the one who was wrong, the one who abandoned them, the one who betrayed them. They'll say things to try to make you question your decision, to try to make you doubt the strength it took to leave. But you know better now, don't you? You know that their version of the story is just another manipulation. You know that their pain is not your responsibility. You know that you didn't abandon them. You liberated yourself. And as they struggle to make sense of your departure, to hold on to the power they once had over you, you will be living your life in peace. You will be walking away from their chaos and into a future where you are in control of your own emotions, your own worth, your own happiness. You will be living a life that is defined by your own standards, not theirs. You will be creating relationships based on mutual respect, trust, and understanding, not manipulation, fear, and control. They didn't expect you to pick your dignity over their drama. They didn't expect you to rise above their manipulation, to walk away from the chaos and into the peace that was always within you. But now that you've made that choice, now that you've reclaimed your power, you will never let anyone take it from you again. Your dignity is yours, and no one, not even them, will ever have the power to take it away from you. You've tasted the sweetness of your own power now, haven't you? You've felt it settle in your bones, a quiet, unshakable strength that no one can steal, no matter how hard they try. They may hurl their accusations, they may scream and shout, they may try to pull you back into their world of confusion, but none of that will ever have the same impact on you again. Because you have made a choice to stand firm in your dignity, a choice to never allow anyone to define your worth again. Think about how long you allowed their drama to shape you. How many times did you let their chaos cloud your mind? How many times did you allow their anger, their insecurities, their manipulation to seep into your own life, making you question yourself, question your worth? There was a time when you allowed their noise to drown out your voice, when their words felt heavier than your own self-affirmations, when their opinions had more weight than your own sense of self. But you've broken free from that, haven't you? You've seen through their smoke and mirrors, and now you stand in your own truth, with the knowledge that no one can take away your dignity unless you let them. You see, dignity is not just a word. It's not some abstract concept that you can toss aside when things get tough. It is a living, breathing entity inside of you, a strength that comes from knowing exactly who you are and what you are worth. And that is something that no one can ever steal from you. Not even the people who tried to tear you down, who tried to manipulate you, who tried to use you for their own emotional gain. They might throw fits, they might twist the narrative to make themselves out to be the victim, but deep down, they know they've lost. They know that you've taken back the power they thought they had over you. The beauty of it all is that you didn't even have to fight them for it. No, the true power of dignity lies not in shouting the loudest or making the most noise, but in the quiet decision to walk away. You didn't need to explain yourself. You didn't need to justify your choice to anyone. You simply chose yourself. You chose to protect your peace, your soul, your self-respect. You made the decision to no longer be a part of their game, a game that only left you empty and broken. And when you walked away, when you chose to preserve your dignity, you stepped into a new realm of strength, the strength that comes from knowing that you don't need them to feel whole, that you don't need their drama to validate your existence. No matter how hard they try, they can never take that away from you. They can never make you believe that you need them. They can never convince you that their version of reality is the truth. They can scream, they can cry, they can try every manipulation tactic in the book, but none of it will ever have the same hold over you. Because now, you know the truth about yourself. You know that you are strong. You know that you are worthy. You know that you don't need anyone's approval to live a fulfilled life. What's amazing too is that the more you stand in your own dignity, the more you protect your peace, the more you begin to realize just how much energy you were wasting in their world of chaos. All that time, all those hours, days, months, maybe even years that you spent caught up in their drama, trying to please them, trying to fix things that were never meant to be fixed. That energy could have been spent on building your own life, cultivating your own happiness, nurturing relationships that nourish and respect you. But now that you've chosen yourself, you can take all that wasted energy and use it to create something far greater. A life that is filled with purpose, with passion, with authenticity. The real transformation happens in the silence, in the moments after you've chosen to leave their chaos behind. At first, there might be an emptiness, a space that feels unfamiliar. You might question if you did the right thing. You might doubt your decision, especially when the guilt starts creeping in, when the memories of them try to drag you back. But this is the crucial moment. This is the moment when you remind yourself that you are stronger than any doubt. This is the moment when you realize that the emptiness you feel is not a loss, but an opportunity. An opportunity to fill that space with the things that truly matter to you, with the people who genuinely respect and love you, with the dreams and ambitions that you put on hold for far too long. The emptiness is not to be feared. It is a sign that you are creating room for something better, something healthier, something that aligns with your highest self. You are creating space for your true life to unfold. And as time passes, that emptiness will be replaced with something far more fulfilling. You'll find joy in your own company, peace in your own solitude, and strength in your own journey. The noise that once defined your existence will fade away, leaving only the sound of your own heart, your own mind, your own soul. And in that silence, you will finally feel whole. It's easy to fall back into old patterns, to let their drama creep back into your life. The temptation is there, isn't it? They will try to convince you that you were wrong, that you made a mistake, that you're being unreasonable. They'll use guilt, they'll use shame, they'll use every weapon they have to try to reel you back in. But what they don't realize is that you have already made your choice. You have already walked away. And once you've walked away from the chaos, it's incredibly difficult to ever truly go back to it. You've seen the other side, the side where peace exists, the side where your dignity is preserved, where you are free to be yourself without fear of judgment or manipulation. And once you've experienced that freedom, you'll never allow yourself to return to the prison they built for you. You might still feel the pull, the weight of their drama, trying to drag you back. But this time, you know better. You know that their drama is not your problem. You know that their insecurities are not your responsibility. You know that you are allowed to walk away from anything that compromises your peace. You are allowed to protect your energy, and you have every right to choose yourself over and over again. And here's the thing. The more you stand firm in your dignity, the more you will attract people who truly value you, people who won't try to manipulate you or drag you into their chaos, people who will see you for who you really are, people who will respect you, appreciate you, and lift you up. They will be drawn to your strength, to the way you carry yourself with dignity, to the way you refuse to let anyone take away your peace. And when you surround yourself with people who value you for who you are, not what you can do for them, you will find a sense of belonging that you never thought possible. You will build relationships based on mutual respect and understanding, relationships that nurture your growth rather than hinder it. Your life will begin to transform in ways you never imagined. The weight of their drama, their chaos, will be replaced with the lightness of true freedom. You'll find joy in the little things, peace in the moments of solitude, and confidence in your own skin. Your dignity will become your armor, a shield that protects you from the negativity and toxicity of the world. And with that armor, you will be unstoppable. There will be times when you are tested. Life has a way of throwing challenges your way when you least expect it. You will encounter situations that try to pull you back into old patterns, that tempt you to give in to the drama, to compromise your dignity for a fleeting moment of comfort. But now, you have the strength to resist. You have the wisdom to see through the lies, the courage to walk away, and the understanding that your dignity is not for sale. It is not something you will ever compromise again. And so, as you continue your journey, remember this truth. No one, not even them, will ever have the power to take away your dignity. They may try, they may scream, they may manipulate, they may tear at the fabric of your peace, but you will not be moved, because you know who you are, you know your worth, and you know that you are stronger than any drama they could ever create. You are free. No one can ever take that from you again. In the end, you have chosen your dignity, and that choice has made you unbreakable. The drama, the manipulation, the chaos they tried to pull you into no longer have a hold on you. You now stand in your truth, stronger and more whole than ever before, knowing that your worth is not dependent on anyone else's validation. You have reclaimed your power, and with that power, you will continue to build a life grounded in peace, respect, and self-love. No one can take that from you. You are free, and you are enough.